This is question 14 of Civil Engineering paper GATE 2013. Following statements are made on compacted soils wherein DS stand for the soil compacted on dry side of optimum moisture content and WS stand for the soil compacted on wet side of optimum moisture content. Identify the incorrect statement. So there are 4 statements given in context of dry side of optimum moisture content and wet side of optimum moisture content of a compacted soil. We need to identify the incorrect statement in this regard. So this question is from the topic of compaction of soil. You may study about the characteristics of OMC curve which is obtained from a compaction test in detail by watching lecture 14 Compaction of Soils, Soil Mechanics Geotechnical Engineering 1 by Professor Dilip Kumar Vaid, IIT Kharagpur. So laboratory compaction test is used or is done to establish the relationship between dry density and the moisture content of the soil. So in this test, a series of samples of the soil are compacted at different water content and a curve is obtained. From this curve, we can find the maximum dry density of the soil for a particular moisture content, which is called optimum moisture content. And the water content at any point in this compaction curve is expressed with reference to this OMC. To the left side or to the left side of this OMC, or we can say the dry side of this OMC is called dry of optimum, and the right side of this OMC or wet side of OMC is called wet of optimum, as it is mentioned here, dry of optimum and wet of optimum. So based on this moisture content, the engineering property of the soil are different for both the sides. As if we talk about the soil structure, so in the dry side of the soil, the soils are oriented randomly, which are termed as a flocculated structure. And in the wet side of the OMC, the soils are more oriented in a parallel arrangement perpendicular to the direction of applied stress. If the stress is applied to this direction, then it can be seen in the figure, the particles are arranged in a parallel arrangement perpendicular to this stress, and this is called dispersed structure. Now, in the left side or in the dry side of the soil, the voids are partially saturated. So, the dry side of optimum are always tends to soak more water, which results in swelling, more swelling. So, we can say due to higher water deficiency and partially developed water film in the dry side, when given access to water, the soil will soak in much more water and then swell more in the dry side of optimum. Now, if we see the shrinkage characteristics of the soil, then during drying, the soils compacted in the wet side tend to show more shrinkage than those compacted in the dry side. In the wet side, the more orderly orientation of particles allows them to pack more efficiently. Now, in the wet side, in the dry side of the OMC, the voids are partially saturated. So, the compaction of, as we know, the compaction of man-made deposits proceed layer by layer, or in the laboratory compaction test, we do the compaction in 3 layers. So, in such situation, pore water pressures are induced in the previous layers, and due to deficiency of water in the dry side of the optimum, initially a suction condition is generated which results in negative pore water pressure, and when we move towards the OMC, and after that wet side of the optimum, then the pore water pressure becomes increases. So soil compacted wet of optimum will have higher pore water pressure compared to soil compacted dry of optimum, which have initially negative pore water pressure. So now coming to the statements given in the options, the option A is soil structure is flocculated on dry side and dispersed on wet side. Yes, just we have seen or discussed. So statement A is correct. Construction pore water pressure is low on dry side. Yes, as sunction generated, or we can say the negative pore water pressure in induced in the dry side of optimum. So and in the dry side of optimum, the pore water pressure is low as compared to that of in highs as to that of wet side of optimum. So a statement given in option B is also correct. On drying, shrinkage is high on dry side of optimum and low on wet side of optimum. No, this statement is incorrect. Just now we have discussed that on drying, shrinkage is high on wet side of optimum as compared to dry side of optimum. So a statement given in option C is incorrect. Now a statement D, on access to water, swelling is high on dry side and low on wet side. Yes, because in the dry side of optimum there is deficiency of water, so it tends to take more water when it is given to access to water. So we can say on access to water, swelling is high on dry side and low on wet side. So this statement is also correct, which is given in option D. So among these four options, all the options are correct except option C. So we can say option or a statement given in option C is incorrect a statement. So option C is the correct answer for this question. Thank you.